A vegetable gardening guide will help you to provide an understanding of how to grow fresh vegetables. This presentation covers few easy steps on how to design a vegetable garden and how to carefully plan for vegetable garden layout that can help to save time, money and energy. Now let us study first factors which contribute to perform effective vegetable gardening. In order to get high yield vegetable garden, it is extremely important to plan precisely each and every step involved in gardening. It includes locating and designing garden beds, deciding what you want to grow and when, providing plants fine soil enriched with compost. One of the major factors which contribute to effective vegetable gardening is soil testing. Soil testing of the garden site is essential. Soil tests provide valuable information about fertility and pH and provide the basis for fertilizer and limiting recommendations. It is important to achieve the proper soil pH. A very high or very low soil pH may result in plant nutrient deficiency or toxicity. A pH value of 7 is neutral, microbial activity is greatest, and plant roots absorb or access nutrients best when the pH is in the 5.5 to 7 range. Do not forget to add organic matter to your soil. It improves structure, slowly releases nutrients, and increases beneficial microbial activity. Next is know your NPK. Plants' primary nutrients are nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. These are available in chemical or synthetic fertilizers. Nitrogen promotes strong leaf and stem growth and dark green color, such as desired in broccoli, cabbage, greens, and lettuce and herbs. Add aged manures to the soil and apply alfalfa meal or fish or blood meal to increase available nitrogen. Phosphorus promotes root and early plant growth, including setting blossoms and developing fruit and seed formation. It's important for cucumbers, peppers, squash, tomatoes, any edible that develops after a flower has been pollinated. Act bone meal or rock phosphate to increase phosphorus. Next is potassium. Potassium promotes plant root vigor and disease and stress resistance and enhances flavor. It's vital for carrots, radishes, turnips and onions and garlic. Add green sand, wood ashes, gypsum or kelp to increase potassium. Avoid applying excess chemical or synthetic fertilizer. It can damage roots or can reduce the availability of other elements. Another important component of vegetable gardening is site selection. Choosing the garden site is very important. The site should receive at least 6 hours of direct sunlight. The site should also be near a water supply and accessible to gardeners. Loam soil is most desirable. If the garden soil does not have loam, the soil structure can be modified over time by adding compost or organic matter. The site should also be free from rubble and debris, should be relatively free of pollutants and away from pollution sources. Now comes planning for proper planting to get maximum yield. First basic point to consider before you start planting is timing. Vegetables are normally categorized into cool season vegetable crops and warm season vegetable crops. Two main points for planting vegetable according to calendar are climate. High temperatures at both day and night put tremendous stress on plants. In addition, some plants may not survive freezing temperatures if there is a hard winter frost. Periods of time, low humidity, and the high solar intensity can select varieties that are tolerant of temperature extremes. Plant at the appropriate times to avoid temperature extremes or plant to protect the plants. It is possible to grow crops out of the season by providing shade, more humidity, artificial heat, etc. Next is seasons. We have two optimal growing seasons. One is in the spring and other in the rainfall. Both day length and temperature vary dramatically between seasons, short days and cold temperatures in winter to long days and extreme temperatures in summer. Since few annual plants are suited to thrive in both conditions, it is important to choose plants that mature quickly to ensure a full life cycle within one season. Besides this, also consider planting in 2 week succession for continuous harvest. Another important point to be considered before starting planting is spatial layout. Spatial layout is defined as a space arrangement or plan for vegetable fields. After choosing a garden site, the next step is to plan the arrangement of crops in the garden. First, consider the size of the garden and kind of vegetables, then sketch a map of your garden area showing the location of each vegetable, the spacing between the rows, and approximate dates for each planting. Designing of spatial layouts includes many important points such as size of garden, kind of vegetables to be grown, rotation of vegetable crops, and companion planting. Now let's study first how to choose the size of garden. The size of your garden depends on the space availability, the quantity of vegetables you will need, and the amount of work and time you desire to spend. Make the garden just large enough so that planting becomes a fun activity. Next point to be considered while designing spatial layout is the kind of vegetables you wish to grow. While choosing vegetables, make sure though that they can be grown successfully in the selected area. Some crops utilize space better than others. Vegetables that can be produced efficiently in a small garden are snap beans, beets, leaf lettuce, etc. Another consideration in selecting crops is whether they taste noticeably better when they are fresh from the garden. Sweet corn is an outstanding example of this. Although it requires more space than vegetables listed above, it is often chosen because of its high quality when fresh from the garden. Other high perishable crops that taste best immediately after harvest are peas and asparagus. It is important to designate areas for different crops, such as place long season summer crops first, short or cool season crops next, and plant them twice. Short or summer season crops should be placed after cool season crops. Rotation of vegetable crops is another important factor which contributes to effective spatial layout designing. Most of the vegetable varieties that humans like to eat are heavy feeders, requiring fertile soil rich in phosphate, nitrogen, calcium, and other nutrients. Other crops, such as root crops, for example carrots, turnips, radish, and beets, are light feeders and prefer low nitrogen conditions but thrive on compost. And then there are heavy givers which actually add nitrogen to the soil, such as beans, peas, and other legumes. To best utilize and maintain soil fertility, it makes sense to rotate crops from each category in this order. That is, light feeding crops, followed by heavy giving legumes, followed by leafy heavy feeding crops. Such a crop rotation in time gives the soil a rest and chance to rejuvenate between nutrient depleting crops. And next comes companion planting. Companion planting is the practice of planting two or more plants together for mutual benefit. Companion planting vegetables lead to enhanced quality and growth. Companion planting charts are a guideline only. There are general guidelines for companion planting vegetables that work well in the majority of the world. Companion planting charts often look complicated and can be a little intimidating. The important thing to be kept in mind is that companion planting requires continuous learning, which is one of the challenges of vegetable gardening. In this companion planting chart for planting companion vegetables and herbs, I have tried to show the most relevant plant relationships in a two-dimensional spatial way. For example, for companion planting potato, grow it with beans, corns, cabbage, radish, marigold, and eggplant. For chili companion planting, since it is a type of pepper, it will do well with a wide range of plants including basil, lettuce, leek, borage, pumpkins, beans, onion, nasturtium, and parsley. But do not grow chili with potato or eggplant. As a guide to planting companion vegetables and herbs, this approach only has a few exceptions. Cabbage and tomato, while they share the same circle, but there exists an antagonistic relationship between the two. The same is true of cucumber and potato. Moving further, I will list out some of the benefits of companion planting vegetables. First is shelter. Large plants protect others from wind or too much sun. Some vegetables can be used as physical support for others. As an example, pole beans planted with corn use the corn as trellis. And attracting beneficial insects such as bees help spread pollination. It helps in the soil improvement. Some vegetable plants improve soil conditions for other plants. For example, members of the legume family draw nitrogen from the atmosphere and add it to the soil around them. Decoy plants. There are plants that emit odors that aid in masking the odors of insect desirable vegetable plants. Moving to slide 18, let's have a look at vegetable gardening techniques. Now let's have a quick look at points to be kept in mind while performing vegetable gardening. For implementing the vegetable gardens techniques, planning your garden according to its soil type and planting a garden both are very important. Even if ideal vegetable gardening conditions do not exist on your land, when considering how to design a vegetable garden, select your site by several important factors. They are the most important steps to your gardening success. Provide at least 6 hours of sunlight per day. Rich, well drained soil to be provided to the plants. Access to water should be easily available.